The first step is to create the patient checkout project. To do that, you can copy one of the earlier projects and rename a few things there, or you can go to the command line under the workspace directory, execute SAM init. 1 is the option, then 5 if you are using Java 11, 13 if you are using Java 8. I want Maven type project. The name of the project is patient checkout. That will clone the template, ask us which of the templates we want to use. I will go with the hello world template. Once the project is created, go back to your Windows Explorer or Finder, go into the patient checkout project, rename this folder, the project folder, to patient checkout. Go in there, open the pom.xml. I want to change the artifact name to patient checkout as well. And also the group ID is com.bharat.aws.lambda.s3 We are going to use both those services here. So that's the workflow for us. com.bharat.aws.lambda.s3 and artifact is patient checkout. Go to Eclipse, right click, import existing Maven projects. Next, browse to the workspace, patient checkout. This guy is what we want to import, the patient checkout Maven project. Once we have the project, open the pom.xml. You can update the name, the description, etc. That doesn't matter. The important piece here is this dependencies section. We have a lot of dependencies which we have already used in our previous project, which is orders API. Go to the orders API, open the pom.xml, grab the dependencies section, the entire section, come back to Eclipse, replace these dependencies in the patient checkout pom.xml with whatever you have copied. We don't need this DynamoDB. We are not going to use DynamoDB. In place of DynamoDB, we need the S3 SDK and also the SNS SDK. We are going to deal with both those services. So we are going to replace this DynamoDB at the end with S3. That is one. Then copy this dependency. Let me go back in there. Copy that. Paste it to a Ctrl+Shift+F to format. Change this from S3 to SNS. That's all that is required. So we have the Jackson dependencies. We have the two core dependencies, the AWS Lambda Java core and the events, which is very important. And then since we are using S3 and SNS, we need those two dependencies as well. Next, go to the source folder. You can delete this package because we're going to start from scratch. Delete that guy. Also go to test, right click, delete. And we'll start making changes to this project as well as the template.aml starting the next lectures.